Welcome back. It's Saturday, December the 3rd, in Black America Radio, your host, Rasta B. And today, I'm going to be speaking on the realities of Black American people. I'm going to just, really give nice little reminders of what the reality is of us in America, how we should be thinking, how we should be moving, right? My co-host is feeling under the weather. If you remember yesterday, he said he came down for cold. So now, he's not really feeling that well. So it's just going to be me ranting and raving, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. Guest call-in number is 646-716-4654 as normal. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. Because, see, the thing with me, I feel like we keep looking at the situation that we're in a fairy tale way, like in a way in which we have hope change, when the reality is this is what it is. The only thing that's going to change is if we have an economy. We don't have an economy, so we are always going to be at the mercy of their rules, of their injustices. Once you understand that and you know that, we can be upset at situations that happen to us, but we can't be shocked anymore. We can't be shocked. We have to understand that the most precious thing that we have as Black people, and we have to stop wasting it, is time. Start using our time wisely. We don't have that much time. Straight up. We have to start to pull ourselves up, strengthen our family lineage, children, build them up. You see what I'm saying? Because by the time you blink your eye, it's going to be 2020. That'll been 4 years went by. We don't know what this economy is going to look like that we working under. We don't know how these white people about to structure their economy, restructure their economy. That's what's going on right now. That's why Trump won. Everybody keep talking about globalization, and them crackers wasn't ready for that, just like we ain't ready for that. That's why Trump won. That's why the whole BRICS thing happened. They had to put a hold to the globalization and said, whoa, y'all doing this globalization shit for real? Yo, well, we need some time to get our shit together, so we about to put a break on that. That way these families can work and have a little something for themselves to raise their kid up and let their kids be able to strengthen themselves and come up. So what are we going to do? Wait until the white people strengthen their economy, and then when they say, okay, now we're ready for globalization, then we're going to come inside unprepared, begging white people for work? We have to understand the reality of us in this country. We cannot be white. No matter how much bleaching you do, how much you move into white neighborhoods and communities, how much you try to articulate yourself and cling on to their culture, you can't be white. So what happens is we start to have these imaginary scenarios that if we act a certain way, if we do a certain thing, the agenda that white people have for us is going to be the agenda. The only thing we need to be thinking for ourselves is how to defend ourselves from their agenda. Defend ourselves from their attacks. Then we'll see, one, who they are, and two, how strong we are. But just closing your eyes, pretending that you don't see it, that's not a cipher. Just sitting over there saying to yourself, I'm not going to teach my babies this. I'm not going to prepare them. All that's backwards. None of that helps the future, meaning none of that builds a stronger black future in generation. Just like I said, now we're moving into a masculine energy. We're coming out of a feminine energy that we was dealing with for a very long time. Hillary not winning, that was the death of that whole woman energy that we was under. Now we come into a masculine energy. Now it's time for the man to stand up. Now it's time for order in these communities, in the house, in these structure, financial discipline. It don't make sense that we have boys out here now who have more shoes in their closet than their woman. That's just crazy. We got to shake this feminine energy off of us, and we have to start to move as men, and black women have to move as women. Not as reality show characters and things that you see on TV. Not that Coon and the Minstrel show that's on VH1. We have to break these narratives. Stop thinking, black people, that tomorrow is not promised to you. That is the dumbest shit I've heard in my life. If tomorrow is not promised to you, why would you go to bed early on a Sunday? If tomorrow is not promised to you, why would you tell your child to go to bed at a certain time? Wouldn't you want to be around your child? Since you don't think tomorrow's promised? If tomorrow's not promised to you, why would you take out a mortgage on a house, on a home, a 30-year mortgage? So let's change these narratives and say and proclaim to yourself that tomorrow is promised to you. And you have something that you have to do and achieve. Start planning for 20-year plans and things of this nature. Instead of thinking that you can achieve these goals in a year. Stop looking for white people for friends. Stop looking towards white people for allies. If you cannot use them for whatever your purpose is, then there's no purpose for you to be even engaging in any serious discussion that deals with your freedom and your agenda to build your race. If it's sports talk, that's casual talk. You see what I'm saying? And it should be left as that. You shouldn't be going no place by yourself with them. When it comes to business, We all have to be business-minded. We all have to be entrepreneurial-minded. We all have to say to ourselves, if I can't, forget business, how can I generate money? Start thinking like that first. Don't even think business. Say to yourself, how can I generate money? What can I do that can generate money? And the money that you generate, let's say you work and you can generate money, the money that you generate, put that shit in a jar. Whatever you get from that, put that in a jar. Don't even spend that. Just live off how you've been living. At the end of the year, see how much in that jar. You got to move like that. You got to take sacrifices. You have to have discipline. You have to cut back. You got to remember, you have to have more coming in and less going out. Straight up. You going to work, yo, make you sandwiches for the week, yo. 2 weeks for that whole month. Just make sandwiches. Because really, you're just trying to put something on your stomach so you got energy to continue working before you get home. Then you get home, then you can get you a nice dinner. Watch how much money you save. If you got bad habits, smoking cigarettes and things of this nature, cut them shits out. If you drinking, if you find yourself having to always buy alcohol or something, yo, these are things you have to cut out. If you got a cable, paying $100 or something a month or something like that, yo, if you need that cable shit, switch out to different shit. But really, you should be trying to cut the whole cable shit off. Break your shit down to basic cable, get you some internet, get you an MXQ box or a Fire Stick, where you can be looking at all the TV shows, all the channels, all that shit for mad enough cheap. Keep more of your money in the house. Have less of it leaving the house. That's how you build your finances. I can't let white people give y'all their blueprint on life via television, and you think if you follow it, it's going to benefit you. No, it's going to benefit them. Stop listening to people tell you that you have 1 point something trillion dollars in spending power. There's no such thing as spending power. There's no such thing as spending power. There's no such thing as buying power. That is the reality, black people. That is the reality. Guest calling number 646-716-4654 in Black America Radio. Rasta B, me, that's me right here, speak on the realities of Black American people. There's no such thing as spending power. There's no such thing as buying power. If somebody is telling you that black people spend 1 point something trillion dollars, ask that same person, and what is the spending power of other races? And what is the average saving of those other races? Next time somebody say that, let's have a real conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a real conversation. Let's stop with the fake power talk. You know what I'm saying? There's no power in spending. There's no power in buying. You got black women out there. You got talent. But you might be, you know what it is? Not even might be. I think another thing is that we have to understand, we got to have patience and understand that things don't happen overnight. You're going to have to bust your ass to get it. You might fail a couple of times. But you have to have that tenacity. You have to have that fight, that drive within you. All of that hard work that the so-called good white people took away from you because they want to keep everything so nice and simple and pacify you, it made you lazy. It made you soft. You need that toughness because that's that fire. That's that place that you go back to, that you draw on. That's that shit when you're ready to give up, but you got that little shit right there in the back of your neck that's like, nah, keep going. And you like, damn, yo, I don't want to, but I still got some. See, that's how I felt with the whole Trump shit. When everybody in the world kept saying Hillary gonna win, and I'm like, but I don't see what y'all see. Like, how the hell is she gonna win? And it's like, when I felt like, damn, man, maybe I'm wrong, I had something right in the back of my head that was like, nah, keep going. And that's what kept me focused. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us don't have that because we ain't been through shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been through shit. We ain't have nothing hard. We had the trophies because the participation trophies and shit like that. We had the coddling and the, let him do what he want to do, and we had all of that. You see what I'm saying? I ain't grow up like that. So it's like, black people, we got to understand that living your life hard in America, that's just part of being black in America. That's part of being black around the world. Because you got to understand, we ain't got no friends. You got black men from Senegal and stuff like that. They in China doing business out there and all of that good shit. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? Now the Chinese being xenophobic, and they not supporting them, and they want them out their country. You see what I'm saying? I bet you them Senegalese over there didn't create an economy like the Chinese do when it comes to the black communities. That's our problem. We keep wanting to work with people while everybody else try to conquer us. You can't work with somebody who want to conquer you. You can't hug somebody who want to fight you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. If people violent towards you, you gotta be violent back. You see what I'm saying? But if you can't match force to force, then you figure out another way to be violent. You see what I'm saying? Just like a woman. A woman can't beat no man. You see what I'm saying? So she ain't gonna. It's not gonna be wise for her to jump in her man's face or argue with her man. You see what I'm saying? But she might say to herself, okay, I'll let you get that. He feeling all big and braggadocious or whatever because he felt like he won the argument. But then guess what? Now it goes time to go to sleep. He wants some buns. And then she like, nah, I'm good. I ain't even in the mood. I'm tired. I'm sleeping. And now you sitting over here like, damn, are they worth it? I should have just, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she met fire with fire. You see what I'm saying? But she figured out her own way. That's how we got to do as black people in America. If we know we can't gun these motherfuckers down, we can't match them, we don't got the arms and the organization, then we say to ourselves, what's another way that we can match fire with these people? There's one way. That's economically. Because we are a unique people. White people cater to white people. Guess what? So they're going to get that same white generic-ass audience. They always ignore us because they can't figure us out, meaning we can always be us. We can create and buy and sell to us. Nobody else don't have to deal with that. You see what I'm saying? And then we create our music. We control our music. When these people that's generic look at the unique people and see what the unique people have created and what music we have made, the clothes we have designed and dance and style and programs that we create, they always want to then watch and look, learn, and try to steal. But guess what? You tax their ass when you have an economy. But when you don't have an economy, you're creating ideas and they can steal it because you're working within their system. So they can easily replace you because 9 out of 10 you're in their institution, or you're in their building, or you're under their laws and regulations. Same thing with the Indians in Dakota. The reason why the crackers could spray water on them and do all the shit that they was doing, they don't have an economy. They don't have an economy. Trust me, they're not doing that to no damn Chinese. They're not doing that to Mexicans. When Donald Trump said, I'm building a wall, what did they say? Let's speak to the Mexican president. When they said they're going to spray the Indians, we don't even get that shit on the news. They don't even talk about it. What they doing to the Indians? They don't even talk. You have to get the information and read it, which is nothing wrong with that. But they're not even talking about it on the news. So that lets you know that this whole game is manipulated. Once you understand that the game is manipulated, then what do? You figure out how to game the system. Best way to game the system is to have an economy. That way, whatever gains you get, you have a place to put it, to keep yourself empowered. If you don't have that, it don't mean nothing at the end of the day. We got our school system. We got our kids in. There's nothing wrong with your child going to these cracker-ass public schools. It's wrong that you as a parent isn't there teaching your child. So I'm going to say that again. There's nothing wrong with your child going to these public schools. It don't even matter if public schools are a piece of shit. It don't matter. What matters is you, the parent, teaching and educating your child. Because if you teach and educate your child, it don't matter how shitty the school is, your child's going to pass. We fail our children, when we give them to the system and hope that the system is going to do right by them. You, the parent, do right by your child. You sit there and have conversations with your child. You let your child talk back and ask you questions and speak. And y'all have dialogue back and forth. You see what I'm saying? That's what you and your child does. Y'all sit there and read the books and go over the homework and stuff. Cut the TV off. You should feel ashamed, parent, if your child needs time to be educated via homework, or you want to advance them to the next studies above what they learn in the school. I mean, learning at that time, but you don't do it because Love and Hip Hop is about to come on, or Empire is about to come on. If that come out your mouth, you should feel like a piece of shit. And that's the narrative, and that's something that you should change within your life. That if you feel as if, oh shit, it's more important that I catch a television show at a certain time than if I put that time in to educate my children. You should feel like a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? For that. And I hope that you end up changing that about you. Because that's ignorant as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. So it's like the education part, you do that. The speaking, the bonding, you know what I'm saying, and growing with your children and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, what you put into your child, when your child get older, that's going to be the person that's going to be looking after you when you get older. Straight up. Straight up. So it's always best to put that energy into your child because, again, when you get older, that's who's going to be taking care of you. So if you raise a piece of shit, that's what you're going to get in the future. If you raise a leader, then that's what you're going to get in the future. That way, as you're building, as an adult, you should just be worrying about the foundation for your child. That way, when your child goes with the next part for your plan, they can now pull you up from where you at, place you in a higher position, give you that alley-oop. You see what I'm saying? And they where you at a younger age. And then they can pass that on to their child. And then their child could give them that alley-oop and so forth and so on. This is how you create dynasties, legacies. That's how you create families and stuff like that. When people want to talk about, oh, the white man got the 5 families, the Rosenbergs and the Rothschilds and the thises and the that's and the, yeah, we talk about these people like they're not human beings. The reason why the Rothschilds and the fucking Hiltons and Spielbergs and all kind of shit, how that rocks, because that's somebody who started something and passed it on throughout the generation, their bloodline. Any of us can make a strong bloodline. Any of us. But you got to start it, and you got to understand that you're not going to be there to see it ring off. It might be the great-grandchild who might really see it ring off. It's just for you to start it. A lot of us don't want to start it because we're not going to see the end result. A lot of us don't start it because we think that stupid-ass concept that tomorrow not promised us. So tomorrow not promised, I'm too busy trying to live life and set up a damn foundation for my future so I can have something to pass on to my children's children. So we got to change these narratives. We got to understand the reality of what's going on in America with black. Then that as black people, we have to change not only the way we look at life, the way we look at ourselves, the way we do shit. Straight up the way we do shit. When we boycott shit, that shit need to be a cultural shit. Like black people eating sweet potato pie versus white people eating pumpkin pie. When we saying, yo, we not supporting the Chinese no more, we ain't eating no Chinese food, we ain't going to the restaurants no more, things of that nature, that need to be a cultural shit. So by the time the great-grandchildren and stuff is coming up, they talking like when black people stop eating pork. And it's like, nah, brother, I'm black. I don't eat that Chinese food. Nah, brother, I don't mess with that Chinese food, my brother. Oh, you one of them black people? Yeah. We need to be on it like that. As we build an economy, I guarantee you, the same time we build an economy will be the same time that we build, not build, or what I would say is strengthen our culture as Black Americans. Because then we'll have something to fight for. Then we'll have something to create in, because we'll be creating something that we're a part of, which is the economy. A lot of us have to die off because we can't have the remnants of the past. That's why what people don't understand is you have to pass this on to your children. And your children have to be the ones that really understand this, because they're the ones that have to now come up at 10, 15, 20 with this knowledge. And then when they have children, now their children now is going to have the knowledge, and the older heads above them already know the knowledge. So they're not going to be able to talk to the people who's going to be talking about the crack rocks and the bitches and hoes and the niggas and, oh, the white man, and he got his foot on our neck. All of that died off. So you're going to have youth now looking up to elders who, these elders grew up under the guidance of knowledge of self, power, entrepreneurship, strength, unity. You know what I'm saying? Buy black, support black. And then they pass that on to their children. And we're doing it. And then we pass it on to ours, and then we're doing it. Point where we're not going to see the nigga shit no more. That shit going to die off. But we can't think, oh, we can stop the nigga shit today. Nah. That shit ain't, that's not how it works. It works through the youth, through the next generation, the younger generation. So the next realities that we got to deal with too is working and how much you get paid. That don't mean shit if you're not generating that. Meaning, oh well, I don't worry about all that pro-black shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I get money. None of that shit mean nothing. Because if you black and you're not working towards that goal of creating an economy that black and strengthening that black economy, strengthening and building back up Black America, then literally all you have is a bunch of money to give to everybody else. That's all you got. You got a whole bunch of money to give to everybody else, because the money is not going to go to strengthen black people, the black race, the black economy. It's going to go to the Mexican economy, the Chinese economy, the white economy, and everybody else's economy. And then you're going to have to hustle some more money up so you can go back to support the white economy, the Arab economy, the East Indian economy. You're going to hustle some more money up, and then that's where all that money goes. It's like putting water in a pan, a pail that got a bunch of holes in it, and you keep filling the water up, and by the time you get down to the hill, you ain't got no more water in your pan, and then you run back up there to get some more water, and it's like, as long as you don't fill them holes up and keep that water inside that pan, which is the black economy, all that shit gonna run out, and it's gonna benefit everybody else except you, and you're never gonna benefit. So it don't matter how much water you got. But every time, by the time you get to the end of that hill, all your water gonna be gone again. So it doesn't matter. We got a caller. Caller 314-381. What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, it's Bianchi. I was just listening to you. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, brother? You said you just listening?
Yeah, I was gonna make a quick comment.
All right, brother.
And that comment was be along the lines of education.
Right.
Are you familiar with the National Society of Black Engineers?
I heard the name before, but I'm not. I haven't looked it up, but I did hear the name before.
Well, NASB, the acronym, it's an organization that's been around for quite some time, and they work to produce engineers out of black society, that's the youth, with all different type of programs and support and scholarships. And if you go to a typical NSB convention, you may find upwards of 10,000 young black Americans there. And their goal is to
Hmm.
produce 10,000 black engineers a year by 2025, upwards from the present 3,600, I believe they quoted. And I think that that is a very good project that they're endeavoring, because if you do have black businesses, you got to have viable businesses, and everybody can be a business person. They have to have talented, skillful workers, skilled people, and to produce those skills, you have to start early, the child, providing them with the infrastructure, the resources, the tools, whereas they can be well acclimated, well versed, and highly proficient in all those prerequisites that they would need to perform with when time comes for them to go on to higher education to gain their engineering degree in whatever discipline that whatever category that they want to go into. And I think that that is a viable solution to provide those type of support system, because these other ethnic groups are doing
Yeah,
just that.
it is. It's good that it's an institute that's producing, like pushing out these type of black people that are engineers and have these yeah, because they stand the 43 annual convention. I just pulled it up to see get some more information, but that is what we need. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't know that much about it. I just heard the name. I never really looked it up, but I will definitely speak more on it because we need that information out so people can know that it's out there. Because one thing you said that I do agree with is we have to pass this on to the youth. We have to build the child up from the bottom with this type of focus. Like we have to have that 20-year plan where we're not just having our kid in front of the television playing video games, you know, running up and down the field with the ball and stuff. But it's like, let me show you what engineering is. Let me show you entrepreneurship. Let me show you what other things that you can do to really that will help us as black people in a whole, and not just these personal gains. You know.
Absolutely.
But could you explain what what an engineer is, though?
Well, I put it very simple. A doctor would treat a problem. An engineer would make sure that problem never come back again.
Right.
And that's basically what they do. And you know, we have to start producing more young people in that cliche called STEMs: science, technology, engineering, math. And we got to add one more M to that, which is medicine. You know, in Cuba,
Mm.
Ca- Castro came to New York, the Riverside Baptist Church, and made an announcement back, I believe it was in either 2005 or maybe 1995, one of those fives. And he said he's going to make available for African American youth and also underprivileged youth to be able to come to Cuba and study in their medical program to become medical doctors for free. It's a 7-year program.
I heard about that.
And all you have to do is maintain your grades, have organic and inorganic chemistry, and also be able to speak Spanish. But they'll teach you how to speak Spanish. But
Right.
every 2 years, you come back to the states. Well, you come back to states every year. You only need about $3,000. We help raise that amount of money for a young lady, Joya Mosley, out of Milwaukee, to attend this school. Help her buy a
Mm.
camera so that she could uh, art, so that she could record all the things that was going on. But every 2 years, you come back to the states and take an exam, just like any other doctor. Then when you get done, you come back and you do your internship. But that's free. You're talking about a $300,000 education for free, and we need to take up more of our kids. Need to get involved with that. And you know, Cuba educate doctors from all over the world, especially a lot of them from Africa. So
Yeah.
that there is something that needs to be shared. You need to be
Yeah,
starting
we
to put the
definitely got
kids
to
in.
do
Now you mentioned something
that.
about
Because sometimes
sports.
I feel like, right.
You mentioned something about sports. Blacks should not give up sports. They shouldn't give up basketball. Surely getting up football. The things that they dominate
Right.
in, the things that they extract a lot of money out of. It should be expanded,
Right.
being that they make up the majority on the court and on the field, where blacks are starting to get into other areas that support the activities that's going on, whether it's broadcasting,
Right.
whether it's visual, audio, concessions, landscaping, ambulance, sports medicine, so on, so on, so on. Because you got to leverage. Because if you have that type of presence in these sports, then you have the ability to make changes and demand that you have a moral representation throughout all the areas that make it possible for those events to occur.
But even with that, the child still would have to be raised up with that black mind frame. Because I've seen a situation talking about, like the whole Kaepernick and not saluting the flag and stuff. So they had a white coach in a college, and he was telling the athletes basically, we don't do that. We don't play with the anthem. Y'all, you put your hand over your heart, and you know what I'm saying, like coaching them like y'all will follow the structure that we have laid out. So I feel like
Well,
when
the
it comes
reason
to the sports stuff, uh huh,
the reason why he said that is because you also have to look at a professional level. Who's paying the most for those tickets? And whites pay the
right,
majority. There's a way to do that respectfully, but you can't do it in your face because they were backlash. I think the viewership for the
right.
NFL had dropped off for 28%, and you're talking about a lot of dollars. So it's all right to have those type of sentiments like he showed, but you also got to keep in mind, and I'm actually have been against athletes uh, getting involved in those type of demonstrations because of the backlash that can really
Right.
destroy their career. It's, that's why you have to have others that do that. People who can get out and be activists and don't have anything to lose that can be held over their head. And the best way to get back at the system that's oppressive, the system that we complain about, is positioning more out of your numbers that compete against those systems, compete against those businesses, take business from them, take a portion of their pie in order to create your slice of pie.
But did you, but do you agree that in taking the stuff from them, it is to build our own?
Well,
It's not
yes,
to work
that's what
within
it's
it.
all about. Those
Right.
who
Okay.
have a portion, who have carved out niches in your economic market. Every ethnic group have their own economic market. If you go down to the border
Yeah.
states in the Southwest, Laredo, El Paso, those cities are probably 95%, if not more, Mexican. So that's their
Yeah.
economic market. Blacks ain't going in no El Paso and open up a store readily and get business readily. They're not going to Laredo,
Nah.
Tucson, because they control those areas economically. So you're supposed to control your economic niche where you reside, where you have accumulated yourself. Others should not be able to come in readily and be able to take control of that. Blacks need to get
Right.
into the business of building affordable houses. You got to build out beyond the flight of whites. Get ahead of them. You can't come behind them and buy what they have lived in and gain
Mm.
equity. That you pay them for that equity, and they move, but you never will be able to get that type of equity out of what you paid them for. So it
Right.
has to be a
That
very
just makes
conscious
sense.
plan. It don't take a whole bunch. It take many bunches, many small bunches, not no whole big bunch, but many small bunches working in collaboration, working based on a plan. And it
Right.
starts with your own children. It starts with your grandchildren, and then once you get it out, the funny thing I used to have a friend of mine used to try to be a network marketer, and they got to be able to talk. So he used to sit
Right.
his kids down in the living room on the couch and talk to them like as if he was speaking at auditorium. So
Right.
that's what you got to do. Start with your own family.
Within the house, I feel like if your people in the house can't listen to you, or if your idea can't be manifested within the people that's closest to you, then why would you think it would manifest outside? Not saying that it wouldn't manifest outside, but it's like you should build your family. That's your first unit. That's your bloodline. That's your first community that you can have control over. Then you can spread that out outward. But if I see somebody talking a lot of conscious stuff or building and stuff like that, but then I look at their house and it's in disarray, I'm gonna wonder about their plan. So
Well,
I
I
think
don't blame you.
it's
You
always
should.
best with them.
Yeah, you should
Huh?
wonder about what's going on. You're absolutely right. You should. And you know, there's two things. Education is one, skills is another. And education is what you're talking
Right.
about. And that education should be accumulated by the time that child gets to the sixth grade. They should have enough knowledge in
Mm-hmm.
order to graduate from a typical public school. But they
Yeah.
by the sixth grade. And you should balance sports with academics. Like I say, don't walk away from the sports because you dominate these sports. But you got to balance it out.
Right.
You got to balance the sports out with the academics.
Yeah, because that is a lot of money that's coming from the sport. So I figure, okay, so sports is there. We can grab that big money from the white economy, from sports, and you have the black people that still work within the white economy. That's money that comes out. Then you have the black people who do have their own business. That money could come in through patronizing there. Because me, I feel like a lot of money that leaves the black economy. I feel like the government gives a lot of money to the black people because we don't have the economy. A lot of it goes right out to everybody else's economy. So we end up
You're
we
right.
don't see nothing.
Every time you
So
every time you slide that snap card, J.P. Morgan get a percentage
yeah,
of that purchase.
yeah,
And then if you look at these immigrants that come in, they position themselves with the things that you need to buy, whether it's gasoline,
yeah.
whether it's snacks, beer, soda, water, all
Mm-hmm.
there very convenient for you where you can just make one stop shop.
Yeah, yeah. And then so to me that's where the food stamp, government assistance, all of that stuff come out there. You have a big sign saying EBT. So that government money that's being allocated to the black community, that goes to everybody else. So when I keep hearing them talk about jobs and how, well, we're going to lower unemployment by jobs, as long as we're working for somebody, we're not building an economy. And I think that's where the whole McDonald's wanting more money for, higher wages for McDonald's come from. Because if you're just worrying about jobs, of course you need higher wages.
Well, you don't want them kind of jobs.
You have to live.
Yeah, them kind of jobs don't have no promise to them.
But if you create your own business, instead of you working in a McDonald's, you could have your own burger spot where you make burgers. Like you can get the EBT card, get you a bunch of burgers from a
well, let me ask you a question.
Club.
All right, you just said it. What all components go with that business you just got through describing, the burger spot? Name a few of them. And if you can't, I'll help you.
All right. Well, you're going to need the products. So you're going to need the burgers and the buns and all that stuff. You're going to
all right, where you going to get that from?
You get that from the Costco's, from your the warehouses, those big warehouse food chains.
All right, let me stop you right there.
Let
me stop you right there. If you got a hamburger business or if you got a chicken business, then you got to go all the way down to the line and you got to have a ranch that's raising cattle. You got to have a ranch that's raising poultry, raising your chicken. You got to be able to have your own hatchery for the chickens. You got to have your processing. You got to have your storage. You got to have your transportation and distribution and transportation. You got to control it from the beginning to the end. From the beginning to the toilet tissue after the person digests that food and expel it into the toilet. So that's the way you control and support black businesses. You can't be going to these other entities because, hey, they are never going to give you family prices, and they will cut you out in order to affect your output, which would in turn affect your quality. Now you're messing with people's feelings, and they say, well, I ain't buying nothing from this place. They ain't got their stuff together. And plus, it's too high. See, people are not going to buy from you just because you're black, and what you selling is higher than what they can buy from an Asian. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do it.
Not yet.
So you got to control all those things, even to the point where you are manufacturing and producing outside of the country, like someplace in West Africa, where you have many advantages and perks. So that's what you call supporting a black business. Not just going into the restaurant ordering food. No, you're supplying them with what it is that people are ordering and being served.
From point A all the way to point Z. Okay, I got you. I got you. So we going from that black farmer, from the black trucker, all the way to the building, the supplies, the construction team, the marketing, everything going to be in-house.
There you go.
And keep that money flowing.
Right. And if you're going to have a franchise is nothing more than a puzzle that you can put place you want to. You build a building of a certain particular size and shape. Then the components is already pre-manufactured. And you just bring them in and start putting it together. Then voila, you got a restaurant of any particular thing, any particular slogan. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. You need to have industrial engineers that does that. It's industrial engineers that draw up the plans for a McDonald's. It's industrial engineers go out and go to manufacturers and put these components together, have these components manufactured. They are responsible for that. So you got to produce industrial engineers.
Yeah, right. So you have to okay. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for us to do this, it would take the adults to lay the foundation, but then the youth to carry on the plan. Because that's how you're going to get the engineers, is through the youth. And then
you got to start directing your children into these high, hard subjects. No more librarians, no more, well, psychiatrists or philosophers, whatever. You can't sports medicine. I mean, we have to have some young people that's doing some tough, hard stuff because every time you master something hard, you put yourself one level, one step above a whole bunch of people.
Right.
And right now, African American, it's true, it's not their fault. When they are tested and test just see what you are able to do, they don't fare very well at all. That has to change. It has to change because these ethnic groups that's coming here, they come in here with vengeance. They don't have no sensitivity for them slave stories we like to always refer to and throw up against whites. They don't have no sensitivity for Jim Crow and the Civil War. They have no sympathy for the Constitution. They come here and they don't give a. They just gonna take it from you. That's what they gonna do, and they are doing it.
Yeah. And that's my whole thing. That's why I was feeling about the whole with the whole presidency. I felt like if Hillary would have won, that would have proved that white people don't have power in this country no more. That would have proved that the Latinos have leverage now with the Republicans. They could have switched to the Republican side and said, listen, amnesty for my people, which would increase their voting power. We will be the Republican bloc, and it will be black people versus Latinos, be white Latinos out here, and the new masters will be them. And we don't have affirmative action agreement. We don't got affirmative action agreement with white Latinos, with Arabs, with Chinese. So, all of that don't mean nothing no more. All of that
they
fight
ain't
we have
thinking
with
about
white
that
people.
Donald Trump can be a blessing, and why here's the thing: businesses control politics. I mean, that's just the way it is. When you try to arrange that any other way, you remember I used to have Soul Train, and they used to have that puzzle that they had to. You remember that puzzle that cross? Yeah. Well, that's just what I'm talking about. If you don't get the pieces right where it makes sense, businesses control politics. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it no other way. Politics control the police. Businesses control the media because the media needs advertising dollars. You ain't going to say something bad about the people that are paying your way. Nope. You as a community are hiring your employees, the police, and they turn around and they're whooping your butt and you paying them. Something wrong with that picture. So if you try to do it any other way than how it's been tried, proved, and tested for generations, then you got a problem.
So that means we have to change a lot of these narratives and a lot of our old way of thinking. Because to me, it's a shame that in 2016 that black people think the way we think now. Like, I hear black people saying, you know what, we should be voting locally. And I'm like, I know voting been going on since like the 1800s, right? Like, why are we now coming up with these ideas about vote? We should have been had this in order. And
well, yeah, they should have had it in order.
When?
But man, look, I'm gonna get out of here. I just want to hop in there and share some information with you.
I appreciate that, man. The listening audience appreciate it too.
Yeah, remember, you want to control it from A to Z. I'll talk to you later, man.
That's right, man. Thanks a lot for the call, man. All right, thanks. Peace, man. Black power. That's right, people, man. From A to Z. Because that is what it's all about, man. When you control your products from A to Z, what happened is you control the price. You control how much you charge the black person and how much you charge the other people. Because trust me, that's what they do to us. We have to change our narrative and how we think and how we direct our children, our lives. Engineering. I just dropped that a link, not a link, but a story, speaking on the National Society of Black Engineers. Right? I have that on the Facebook right now, so I can check it out on the Facebook in Black America Radio. Well, let me check what the Facebook is. Oh man, I just clicked off the whole damn thing. Yeah, but the Facebook is like in Black America Radio. Hold on for a second. Hold on. All right, here we go. The Facebook is nblack.america. So I just put the link to the National Society of Black Engineers. And what it is, because I've heard the name before, but I've never really known, like really checked it out, you know what I'm saying, and know what it was all about. But now that I know, this is where I'm directing my children. I got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's very important to know and to understand the different avenues that we do have and foundations that we do have out here for black people, for black children, you know what I'm saying, for your black teens. You know what I'm saying? You might have a 14, 15-year-old out there who is breaking apart radios and putting it back together, who is interested in the math and things of this nature, and instead of you not doing nothing with the child, take them to the museums, take them to the children's museums, take them, walk them through a college campus, a black HBCU. Look up programs for young black kids to get into engineering, to get into math programs and space programs and things of this nature. You know what I'm saying? For the youth, and enroll your child into that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe instead of you paying for that $2,000 wig, you know what I'm saying, you can put that money towards your seed to go to some type of institute or program or you know what I'm saying, things of this nature. Try it out. You know what I'm saying? That's how we'll change the violence in our community. That's how we'll change the way our children think and look at themselves. Because it is true. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know me, I'm not really for the whole sports and all that stuff like that. But like the brother said, which is true, there's a lot of money in that sports stuff. So if your child is nice and it makes sense, okay, let your child get into that sports stuff. But you know what? Make sure they have knowledge of self. Make sure they have knowledge of self. That way when they get in that bread, they understand what it is. They're not blowing that money. That way when they get a certain age, they can walk away, guapped up, influence if they're nice, a lot of paper if they just okay, and then they can walk out of there and put that money to build the black economy. They might be nice with the basketball and all of that, but also as a teenager was involved in engineering. You dig? We have to change the way we look at ourselves and our children. We got to change the way we look at America and the world. We got to, you know what? Look at it as if we're playing chess, strategizing. Maybe we shouldn't be wearing our emotions on our shoulder, protesting, complaining, showing them that we're shocked and all that stuff like that. Maybe we shouldn't show these emotions. maybe every time they do something fucked up to us, we all collectively be like, okay, we got you. At first, we were just going to build an economy, but now we're going to build an economy, and we're going to drain their economy. Oh, they killed another one of us? That's all right. Not only are we going to drain the economy, we're not hiring these people either. I'm going to let you know that right now. Like we're going to make them suffer, okay? But just like I gave the analogy with the woman, if you can't fight fire with fire, if that woman can't fight that man, it don't make no sense for her to jump in that man's face. But when it's time to go to sleep and that man wants some action, then you shut him down. You figure out another way to win. That's what we have to do as black people. We got to figure out another way to win. A lot of parents, and it don't matter if you're a single mother, or if you're a single father, or any of that. A lot of parents have children, and they just literally have children on autopilot, auto drive, cruise control, and just letting them run with no direction. You have to put your child in direction. Again, you got your computer, you got your laptops, go to your search and put in National Society of Black Engineers. Look it up. Find out about it. Find out what the membership is and the membership benefits are, the chapters, the job search. Find out all of this stuff, the programs they have. You know what I'm saying? They got the scholarships they have, the National Society of Black Engineers Juniors, and, you know what I'm saying, experiments for kids. It's a summer engineering experience for kids called SEEK. You know what I'm saying? That's the acronym, SEEK, SEEK. And it's where you got the youth, you know what I'm saying, these little young kids and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And they say the SEEK participants will be exposed to STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, through hands-on engineering projects. They'll be exposed to collegiate STEM students, be exposed to the roles and responsibilities of engineers, be exposed to African-American images in STEM. So it's not like you're looking at a bunch of white people thinking like, feeling weird. You watching black people doing this, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is for the youth, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to do better. We have to put that extra energy out there, that extra that thing, that when you're tired. Let me tell you a story. So one day I had some time off. It was my son's birthday, my oldest son, who was just turning 4. And so we goes, and he's a very bright child. Both of my children are very bright, right? And we go to the zoo, the Atlanta Zoo. So we go into the zoo. So my son, he'll go to one of the pictures and be like, "Dad, what do this say?" So then I'll read we'll read the animal, and then we got to read whether it's an endangered species, you know what I'm saying, extinct, you know what I'm saying, what the whole thing is. Then I had to tell them what extinct and endangered and all of the different stuff meant. So we doing that. I'm talking about for every animal. We doing that, So I ain't gonna lie. After a while, you get tired. It's like, here we go. Let's leave. So as we leaving, my son, he running and he like, "Dad, come on, we gotta read this one." And I'm like, "Come on, man, we gotta go." But he like, "Dad," but he like, "Dad." But he was looking at me. He giving me that look like I didn't grow up with no father. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me that look like, "Dad, like we have to read this one." And I'm looking at him like, "All right, come on, let's go." So I read it, and then I'm like, extinct or whatever. And then we went to the next one, and I read the next one, and then told them what, you know what I'm saying, and the whole thing. And I just said to myself, even though I'm tired as hell, I'm ready to go, I've been walking around all day, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll give that extra push. You see what I'm saying? To educate my son, to be a part of his educational journey, that energy. You know what I'm saying? That thing where, like another incident, same child. We're downstairs. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. He's sitting on the couch with his brother and his mother, and he tells his mother, "Mom, I want to learn. I'm ready to learn." It's like 7:00. So she like, "Oh, you ready to go upstairs and keep studying the stuff that we was doing upstairs?" I think they're doing an addition right now. He's 4 years old, and so he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to learn." You know what I'm saying? So they go upstairs and they learning. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, that's because me and her, we're educating, we're sitting down, we're giving that time, we're putting that work in. You see what I'm saying? So then in return, your child will receive that. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? My son plays video games. He plays Roblox. He'll play Roblox all day. You see what I'm saying? But when we take the game from him and say, "Yo, no more Roblox, let's do something else," before he used to cry, but I told him, "Yo, we don't play that. Cut that out." Now he don't. He'll just cut it off and be like, "All right, let me go ahead and do what I got to do," because I know that as long as I do what I got to do, I'll be able to do what I want to do. You see what I'm saying? So he does what he want to do. He'll read. He'll learn his words. We do the spelling. We're doing the addition and stuff like that in the math. You see what I'm saying? He's 4. By the time he gets 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, he's going to be learning what they're teaching him in school and more. You see what I'm saying? I already told my son, I said, we're going to get a telescope, and we're going to go in the backyard and look at stars and moon. And I ain't grew up doing none of this type of stuff. I ain't grew up doing none of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? But see, I want more for my child. I want more for my son. I want more for the next generation to come. So I will put that time in to do that because I know it will benefit. You see what I'm saying? I'm investing in my child. This is how we have to look at our children. We can't look at our children as pieces of shit, a mistake. They're just here to do what I tell them to do and all kind of way. We can't do that. We can't punish these children. You see what I'm saying? We have to look at the child as investment. You see what I'm saying? The future. By the time this child turned 17, if you wasn't shit at 17, you're supposed to do better by your child. Whatever your parents can do for you, you now supposed to turn around and do better for yours. You're not supposed to do the same. You're not supposed to do worse. You're supposed to always do better. You see what I'm saying? These are the realities of Black American people, and these are the realities that we have to look at. We have to change the way we look at shit. There's nothing funny about abortion. There's nothing funny about goddamn disrespecting Black people and disrespecting Black women and being in and out of jail, and there's nothing funny about none of that shit, yo. There's nothing funny about not having an economy. There's nothing funny about being a parent having a so-called good job but want to talk crap to your child because they can't find a job for the summer when we don't have an economy. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing cool about that shit. Stop sending your kids into colleges blind. Raise your child up. By the time your child gets to junior high school, they should know what the hell they want in life. You see what I'm saying? They should know. By the time they get in junior high school, at the latest, they should know. So you're supposed to be grooming your child within junior high school, so when they get into high school, they already know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to work. Your child is not supposed to go through elementary school blind to the fucking world, go to junior high school, going through changes, and then get to high school barely graduating. No, that's a failure on you as a parent. That's a failure as you as a parent. Now, that's not to diss you. That's to say, now that we recognize that that's a failure, how do we correct that? And it's not money. It's not money. If you don't have money to do stuff, you know what you do? You find out all the cheap stuff to do. You could have a child could be 4 years old. You know what could be interesting for your child? Bring them outside, get them some leaves. Bring the dry leaves in the house, put a piece of paper over it, and get a pencil and do a shade over the tree. Let your child do it so they can have that image of the leaf on a piece of paper. Oh, mommy, look. But what is that called? That don't cost you nothing to do that. That don't cost you nothing. You could take your kids to the park. You see what I'm saying? Walk around the park. Look outside. Ask your child, what color is the sky? What color is the tree? What is that called, a tree? You see what I'm saying? What is that, a dog? What is that, a can? What is that, a trash? You know what I'm saying? Trash bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that, a car? You know what I'm saying? What is that, a tire? You live in you know what I'm saying? Like, living in the hood, you might see all kind of crazy shit. But ask your child for recognition. That way your child, you can check your child's intelligence. They recognize what's going on. What is that, a fire hydrant? Sirens, police car. You know what I'm saying? A plane. Speak to your child. What is it that you want to be when you grow up? You know what I see in you? You know what I want? Just what it is that you like? Oh, you like that? Do you know that these people do that? You like to draw? You know about artists? Look at this newspaper. You see how the people drawing over here? Hey, you think you could draw that? Save money up. Let's go to a museum. Let's take my child to an art show or something like that to show them that. Look at some graffiti. Hey, look at what people drawing on the wall over here. Do you see that? You see the colors? You see the way they did that? Like, you have to cultivate your child's mind. You have to do that. That's the future. I don't have children, though. Okay, well, you have to cultivate your own mind. You have to say to yourself, you want better, you got to do better. Well, how do I do better? You got to change everything that's not working. Change everything that's not working. Stop being materialistic. Cut back on all the spending. Just like the brother said, from A to Z, you got to, when it comes to business. So now, brothers out there, sisters out here who have restaurants, and your restaurant's doing good, hopefully. Ask yourself, how much down the line can I push this business to the point where I can get black farmer if I own a restaurant, or if I'm getting shea butter or oils from somewhere, I can now go and find a supplier out of Ghana for my shea butters or my cocoa or something like that. I can go to Mississippi, which is supposed to be the catfish capital, and I can order catfish and things of this nature. And you know what I'm saying? Like, let's take our shit, basically what I'm saying, to another level. Let's take it to another level. Let's step it up on how we raise our children. Let's step it up on how we do our business. Let's step it up on how we carry ourselves as men. Let's step it up on how we carry ourselves as women. Because, see, it all starts, and then everything else trickles down. Let's step it up on the way we look at ourselves. Have some pride in your step and in your walk. Stop being so goddamn sensitive and things of that nature. Understand that we're not in the position of power right now, so the weak always going to get picked on by the stronger. Once you understand that, what you got to do, you got to defend yourself, right? So understand that we're not in a position. We're in a position right now to get picked on, so right now we're going to eat the bullshit that we're dealing with right now. But let's direct our energy out the streets, out the marching, out the protesting, and let's direct our energy into building. Everything that this system do to us, let's take that energy, that boiling energy, that outrage, that hurt, that pain, and let's direct it into building an economy. So we ain't got to feel that no more. Let's direct that to build it. Because think about it. If you as a black man got you a good job and you got you a child, let's say a child 2 years old, 1 year old, right? You got to remember, you got 14 years to figure out how your child's going to have a little job or whatnot to make a little money for themselves. Because when your child turns 14, what you going to do? Yo, you better go out there and get you a job. And they out there looking and can't find that. Do you blame yourself for that? And not yourself in the sense of it's your fault, but do you blame yourself in the sense of, damn, I got a job, I'm holding down the house, I'm doing my role as a man, or how they say I'm a man if I do this, but I can't even provide for my son. I can't even say, yo, you know what I'm saying, you can get a position right here. Yo, come on the docks or something, or come in the tire factory, or come on the farm. You know what I'm saying? Like, run some of these trucks up and down the East Coast. You have nothing to pass on to your seed. When you understand that reality, then you got to change the way you look at your job. When you understand that reality, you have to change the way you look at your job. You got to say to yourself, you know what? The job is cool, but I got to understand what that is. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to help my family. That's just going to sustain my family, but it's not going to help. How you help is when you can pass something on to your seed. If you're in a position as a worker and know that you're not going to be able to pass that on to your seed, you know what you do? You say, well, let me give my child the tools to better themselves. And that is directed and pushing your child towards STEM programs. That is, again, looking up the information on the National Society of Black Engineers. That is directing your children into being coders and into coding so they can develop computer programming and things of this nature. If your child is in a position where they can make it as athletes, then you have to educate your child on what to do with money. So you definitely got to educate your child on being an entrepreneur and being that type of mind frame, because guess what? They can brand themselves. They can control their own branding and marketing and merchandise shit and all that other shit. They can do that themselves. You don't have to sell your jersey if you're a basketball player. Okay, that's what y'all want to do. Cool, no doubt. I'm going to create something else to sell that ain't got nothing to do with y'all. I might start selling soaps because I'm such a fucking athlete that my soaps get sold out. You know what I'm saying? So, you like, how do I interfere with y'all shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, You'll know how to figure out around. You'll know how to get around the loophole. When your mind frame is set up to understand, I'm working against these people. These people are working against me. I'm competing against them. Their stuff is to gain me. I have to work around this game. When your children understand that. But we don't. We have our kids out here in the world blind, smiling with the people who are smiling because they're trying to take advantage of you. And we leave our kids to these wolves. They take advantage of our kids, make a gang of money off of them, but then they throw them away when they finish. And then we scream racism. When we need to be screaming, do for self, stick together, black power, things of that nature. So, thing is, when it comes to the realities of black people in America, we have to understand that everything that we was taught and we think might work, we got to cut that out and we got to deal with reality. This Trump win is a blessing because we don't know what the hell going to happen with a Trump presidency, and the white people don't know what the hell going to happen with a Trump presidency. We both. I was talking to a white woman the other day, and she was telling me that not only did she vote for Trump, but she agreed with my whole premise on why Trump won and why Hillary lost and how the media was, like it was literally two different narratives. But she was like, they didn't care about the antics of what Trump was doing. What they cared about was the economy, trade, the real life shit, while we was caring about the sucker TMZ gossip shit. So she told me she just hope that what Trump says he's going to do because they need change. And I said, oh, ain't that funny? Hope and change? So this whole Trump shit is their Barack Obama moment. The difference between Barack and Trump is Barack had an economy that was falling, and he put the brakes on that shit and got it up to a 3% growth from negative whatever. Where Trump is going to get it on a 3% growth, so even if he go up 2%, for it to say, well, we have it at 5%, they're going to try to juice it up like it's that great or whatever like that. So we know that. But my whole thing is this. What are we going to do? Because he will get 8 years. Believe that. He is going to be a two-term president. Believe that. So what are we going to do in these 8 years? Are we going to argue? Are we going to protest? Are we going to yell and complain? Are we going to keep getting burnt politically? Or are we going to get on this economic shit? Because, see, I'm out here in Georgia, and I'm gonna say it again. The next time the mayor have to run, Kasim Reed have to run, it's going to be a white mayor in Atlanta. And it hasn't been a white mayor in Atlanta in over 40 years. They about to have a white mayor. I thought it was going to be last go-around. It was some white chick named Mary Norwood. I thought it was going to be the last go-around. I was wrong, right? That was the beginning of gentrification. I was wrong. But guess what? She lost by 7,000 votes. So she lost by 7,000 votes. What I tell you? They want a white mayor in Atlanta. Gentrification. What is gentrification? Gentrification is these white people coming into poor, cheap, prime real estate, buying that shit up for cheap, raising the fucking property value, pushing your black asses out, which ultimately makes them a stronger voting bloc community. So as because they're now a stronger voting bloc, they get to now control the politics of that land. Atlanta is going to be white next go around. And when that time is coming up, I'll make sure I broadcast it and blast it on the radio, on this Blog Talk Radio. And if I'm right, just like I was right with the Trump thing, again, because see, when I'm making these predictions, it's not a one prediction. Trump is going to win. The mayor is going to be white in Atlanta. It's a big blanket story of how this whole shit is going to play out. That's why for these next 8 years, black people have no choice but to get their shit together. Because if we drop the fucking ball on this 8 years, 8 more years, let me see, 4 years, I'm going to be 40, I'm about 44. Because I'm 36 come the 19th. 4 years from now, it's going to be 2020, I'm going to be 40. And then the next 4 years after that, I'm going to be 44. 8 years, my son is going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, my oldest, and my youngest going to be 10. I should have different conversations by then. I damn sure going to be having my boys traveling by then. And they definitely going to have their own little hustles and activities that they're doing to make money because I'm raising entrepreneurs. So add 8 years to your life and 8 years to your children's life. 8 years to a plan you're trying to do. And say to yourself, do you have that time to waste? Do you have 8 years to waste? I'm 36. 8 years from now, I'm going to be 44. I don't got 8 years to waste. My child going to be 12, my oldest. My other going to be 10. I don't have 8 years to waste. Do you? Do you have 8 years to waste? Change the narrative. Change the shit that you believe because it's wrong. Stop thinking that weirdo shit. Tomorrow's not promised to us. That's stupid. Tomorrow is promised to you. That's a dumb way of thinking. Tomorrow is promised to you. And because tomorrow's promised to you, that's why you need to get your shit. Guess what? I'm going to tell you another story. When I was a teenager living in Brooklyn, no parents, no parental guidance, right? My father got deported to Trinidad, but I ain't see him since last time I seen him, I was 14. Prior to that, I think I was like 7 or something. My mother, me and her, I ain't see her since 14. So I'm thinking to myself, yo, I ain't going to make it until about 20. So I used to live my life wild. I'm talking about wild. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stupid nigga shit. Shooting at motherfuckers, getting shot at, and you know what I'm saying? Running from police and selling drugs and not giving a fuck. Because my whole attitude was this, man. I'm from Brooklyn. Damn. I'm young, so I know I ain't going to die in my sleep or no sucker shit like that. I'm going to get killed. You know what I'm saying? So I just need to have me a nice Puerto Rican homie who could paint my mural on the wall, you know what I'm saying, when I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? I used to have my little bootleg little will and all kind of shit like that. My favorite songs on my little cassette. I wouldn't play it at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? And things of this nature. Drinking, breaking day, all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying, wilding out for the night. You know what happened? The year I said that I was going to die, I didn't. I ended up passing 20 and 21 and 24 and 25 and 26. And then I said, damn, yo, I'm 26. I didn't think I was going to make it to 20. And I said, yo, I got to get my shit together. Because if I made it to 20, I'm talking about, this is literally my conversation. I said, if I made it to 26, then I could make it to 124. Like, I might not never die. You know what I'm saying? I got to get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? What happened? I ain't trying to be fucking old and fucked up in the game. So I started really getting my shit together. I started cleaning my credit up. I started taking life serious. I started making sure I had more money come in, less money come out. I started to eliminate my credit card debt. I started investing in stocks, learning about the stock market and all kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I started really taking life serious. And once I start taking life serious, then I start to see easy it is to really maneuver in America, as long as you got hustle and drive about yourself. But believe it or not, it is hard for you to understand what you could do if you don't think tomorrow's promised to you. Straight up. If you believe in that concept that tomorrow isn't promised to you, it's going to be hard for you to lay out a 20-year plan. Think about that. How can you lay out a 20-year plan if you don't know if you're going to live till tomorrow? So if you got that mind frame, that's going to be the movements you take. Yo, I got $100 to burn. Well, I get paid Friday, so I could blow this 75. No. You're supposed to put that 75 up, that 100 up. Put that shit in the CD. Give yourself a 5-year budget. 5-year budget. When you say for the next 5 years, I'm cutting back. I ain't buying a whole bunch of gear. I'm not going to be going to the bars and the clubs and the strip clubs and all kind of shit like that. I'm not blowing money for 5 years. I'm going to make sandwiches. I ain't going to be spending my money in the streets like that for 5 years. Why? Because tomorrow's promised to you. For 5 years. Why? Because for 25 years you bullshitted and you ain't got nothing to show for it. So give yourself 5 more years. So when you're 30, you got a little something to push you on to achieve more dreams and goals. You see what I'm saying? We have to change our realities, and we got to change the way we look at ourselves. Because, see, here in America, this whole game is designed to destroy you, black man and black woman. So once you understand that, then you're not going to get caught up in the traps that's out there. You're not going to sit over there and say, you know what, I know this cracker got this game set up to watch me fall, so I'm going to participate in the games that he have out there for me to fall. No, you're going to avoid them and be like, I'm not even getting caught up in that stupid shit. When you change the way you look at stuff and you deal in the realities of what's really going on, I'm telling you, when you see that Chinese restaurant, you're not going to want to walk in that Chinese restaurant. That shit going to look like ass to you. That shit going to look like ass to you. You're going to be like, yo, I'm not eating that. Fuck out of here. No, I'm good, yo. I'm good. Your kid's going to tell you, Dad, can we get some Chinese? You're going to be like, yo, we don't eat Chinese food. Why not? Because we black. Black people don't eat Chinese food. You'll be amazed if black people said that. It'd be that child growing up, and then when that child have a child, it would stick and be part of our culture. It would stick and be part of our culture, like Jamaicans not eating pussy. It would be the same way for black Americans. Like, we black, we don't eat Chinese food. Do I look Chinese, my nigga? Okay, well, I don't eat that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we'll be. When we stop eating Chinese food, then we can start creating our own shit. You can have your own chicken wing stands and things of that nature. And like the brother said, start from A to Z. You go, before you worry about that chicken stand, start Googling black poultry farms. When you find that black poultry farm, you get that call in. You travel out there. You check that shit out. You talk to the brother. This is what I'm looking for. Can you produce this? This is a product. Let's talk. You see what I'm saying? Like we have to really take. Well, I'm gonna say it like this: if we're gonna scream Black Lives Matter, then yeah, we're gonna have to take our lives even more serious than slogans, than hashtags, and things of that nature. We have to take it serious, as in, yo, it's detrimental out here. See, a lot of times you're a woman, she get caught up in that fantasy world. And so I understand why a lot of black men end up falling back into that slumber. Because y'all believe in those weird narratives. Happy wife, happy life. Get out of here. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Happy wife, happy life. No, that sounds like effeminized black man. That's what that sounds like. Because your woman should be happy with a strong black man with his head on his shoulder who understands what's going on in the world. That's what should make her happy. Oh, I got a man that knows how to drive. Not my man's driving and I'm going to tell him, ooh, let's go here. Nah, we ain't got time for that. Oh, I'm mad now. And it's like, oh, Lord. No, there's nothing happy about that. Oh, well, when my woman say this, I don't care if she wrong or anything. I still say, yes, dear, you're right. Because I don't want to deal with it. No, that's giving up. No, that's not, none of that. That's effeminization. And when I'm saying that the black man, he have to lay this order in his ground in his house, and she gonna respect that. I'm not saying that as, oh, the black man, he have to run his house. If you follow what I be saying, I don't think the black man's supposed to be running his house. I think that's a weird concept too. Black man, you're supposed to be running the economy. You're running the economy. You're supposed to be running the outside world. That's what you're supposed to be running, the outside world. Your woman's supposed to be running the house. And the children is supposed to be learning and being cultivated and respecting their parents. The man is supposed to be running the outside the house. Then he comes home to a house that's ran by his woman. So he should come home and be content, like, okay, I should sit down, everything should be good and in order. My woman got this house in order. It's not, see, what happened was when that white man kicked that ass outside, then we came inside and said, well, damn it, I can't get no respect outside. I'm going to get respect inside. So I'm going to run the house. So then now she has to now, instead of running the house, she has to now run the kids. So now the kids now, instead of being cultivated and nurtured up for the next generation, they end up get divided themselves to the oldest running the youngest. And then the youngest now goes out in the street and that's how that whole trickle down effect happens. Where the big fish eat the small fish like that. And then it all started because that black man got his ass kicked outside in the street. Black man, we're supposed to be running outside. We're supposed to be running the economy. We're supposed to be competing with these other nations, the Arab, the East Indian, the white. Let me tell you, the white man, you don't compete against that white man in his white man system. No, you don't, black man. That's the last level in this game called building Black America. or rebuilding Black America. First thing first, you start with that Chinaman. After the Chinaman, then you look around and you say, well, who's the next person next? But the first person will be that Chinaman. Then you can say to yourself, damn, do we have the muscle for the Arab yet? Because, see, you don't destroy the Chinaman and leave him alone. And then that's it. Then you go to the next race. No. You destroy the Chinaman and you replace every fallen Chinese business with a black business. You destroy his liquor stores, and it's replaced with black liquor stores. You destroy his restaurants, and they're replaced with black restaurants, and so forth and so on. The beauty supply stores, the nail salons, all of that shit. Once you do that, then you say, who's next? Or even simultaneously, who's next? Then we're going to deal with what? The supermarkets. Then we get the supermarkets, knock them out. Then who's next? Then we get the gas station, the corner stores. But it's all going to be systematically. As we rebuild Black America, then politics. We still leave that white man out because we ain't that powerful yet. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, the other races of people, their strength is from our dollar. The white man ain't strong from our dollar. He's strong because this is his game. So that's why I say the first person that we have to fight and attack is the foreigner. Then we go into the political realm for the cracker. We got to go into the political realm. Once we get into the political realm, then we can start to change and add laws and rules and things like that to strengthen us. Then when we do that, then we can say we can have this little war, economic war with the cracker. If it makes sense. But before we talk about fighting white supremacy and fighting this cracker, we got to get them goddamn foreign leeches off of our neck and out of our bloodstream first. We got to test our sword, and we got to test our muscle with them first before we even dream about fighting against some goddamn white man. That's a pipe dream. We got to understand the reality that we are dealing with here in Black America when it comes to this white power structure. We're not in a position of power. What happened was the white man destroyed our economy. How did Africa fall to the cracker? They destroyed their economy. How did the so-called Native Americans fall to the cracker? Through disease and then their economy. If you study the white people, you got to study them. When you study them and really pay attention throughout history, they indoctrinated you with their religion, then they destroyed your economy, then they conquered your people. In that order. That's what happened. And what happened in 2016, we still hold on to their religion and their religious ideology. We don't build no economy. Therefore, our people are destroyed. So we have a destroyed people that's saying, well, we have to try to build ourselves up. But how do we build ourselves up? Well, we got to praise the Lord. No. That's their system. But we need more jobs with higher wages. No, you're in their economy. And that's why we're in the position that they know where we're going to be in. It's called social engineering. But if we rebuild our economy, and while we rebuilding our economy, trust and believe, we will be rebuilding us as a people and establishing a culture about ourselves. Because, see, you got to understand, the strength of a people, the culture of a people, the pride of a people is all centered around the economy. Because now I have something to fight for. If I don't have an economy, I don't have nothing to fight for. That's why it's so easy for black people to sell each other out. It's easy for us not to trust one another. Why it's so easy to shit on each other, talk shit about each other, to be a bunch of fucking minstrel show coons on TV fronting as rappers and all kind of shit like that. It's because we don't have an economy, so we don't have nothing to fight for. But when you have something to fight for, then you have pride. Then you have something to stand tall for. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what it is with black people. So, that's the end of today's show. You know what I'm saying? This is Rasta B. You can go on to Twitter in Black America 7, Facebook in Black.America. Definitely go to the YouTube page in Black America Radio. Subscribe.